Hey, welcome back to Bookmas. Today I am going to be telling you my anticipated reads for 2024. So first up we have Bunny Story by Emily Henry. This comes out on April 23rd, I think. I am very excited. Do I know what this is about? No, but it is an Emily Henry romance and that's all I need to know. I don't want to know the plot line. I don't care, because it's an Emily Henry romance and I'm going to read it. So that's the only explanation that you really need for why I'm excited, because she's an auto-buy author and I will read anything she writes. And so I'm excited. I hope it's good. Happy Place was pretty good. I think it was definitely like above some of her other ones. So I'm hoping that this like trend of upward, how much I like it, keeps going up. You know what I mean? Like I hope they just continue to get better, because I loved the last one and I feel like hopefully this one will be good as well. Next up is The Fury by Alex Michaelides. This comes out on January 16th. I read The Maidens and I read The Silent Patient, both of which I really liked. The Silent Patient was better than The Maidens, but I liked both of them. And so I'm really excited for this book to be coming out. So this one, it takes place in Greece. It's an ex-movie star and her friends. They're gonna take a trip to a private island in Greece. And it all goes wrong when a murder occurs. So I'm really excited because I liked the other two and I think that this one will be just as good. Next up is The Last Murder at the End of the World by Stuart Turton. This is going to come out on May 21st. So this is the same guy that wrote 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, and that book just like blew my mind. So when I saw that he had a book coming out, I was like, okay, this will probably be good as well. Essentially, they're on an island. Everywhere else the world is destroyed except for on this island. They just fish and farm and live. They have a curfew, all that kind of stuff. And then one of their scientists is found stabbed to death. And so now they have to figure out who killed him in order to not die and the world to not end. So this sounds good. And I just know that if it's anything like 7.5 Deaths of Evelyn Hardcastle, it's going to be confusing. And then at the end, you're going to be mind blown, because that's just how that book was. So I'm hoping that it's kind of the same in that aspect. Next up is The Midnight Feast by Lucy Foley. This comes out on June 18th. I don't need to explain what this is. It's a Lucy Foley book. I like Lucy Foley's thrillers. Okay, I have no idea what it's about. I'm assuming a feast at midnight and someone dies, because that's how it is. You know, they're like whodunits kind of. So I'm excited just because it's Lucy Foley. Obviously, my #1 read, Crescent City 3 by Sarah J Maas, which comes out on January 30th. I'm so excited. I know that my Barnes & Noble pre-order is not going to show up in time, so I'll probably download it on my Kindle so I can start it immediately, because I am so excited for this book and very stressed out to see how it all turns out. So obviously, like Crescent City, yeah, I'll be continuing that. Actually, Crescent City is like my least favorite series out of all of her series, but I feel like this book will be hopefully my favorite in that series. So we'll just have to see. Next up is The Familiar by Leigh Bardugo. This comes out on April 9th. This is a historical fantasy during the Spanish Golden Age in which there's magic, and I don't know much else past that, but it's Leigh Bardugo and she's an auto-buy author for me, so I'm going to read it. And I love the cover. I think it looks so cool, so I'm really excited about that as well. Next up is Somewhere Beyond the Sea by TJ Klune. This comes out on September 10th. The past couple books that I've read by him were just not as good as House in the Cerulean Sea. Like, it's my favorite. It made me warm and fuzzy, so I'm really excited that he is going to be making a sequel to House in the Cerulean Sea. At the same time, I am scared, because sometimes when you add a sequel to a book that is loved, it doesn't go well. So I'm really hoping that this like is still just as good as the first book. But we'll just have to wait and see in September. But I loved House in the Cerulean Sea so much that I'm really hoping that this one is good. Next up is A Touch of Chaos by Scarlett St. Clair. This comes out on March 12th. This is the last book in the Touch of Darkness trilogy, and then I think there's one more Hades retelling after that. I'm waiting to read Game of Gods until it's closer to Touch of Chaos. But I've loved this series so much. Like, I've had to read it in spurts because I burn out on it easily. But I'm really excited to see how it ends, especially because there are like really high stakes after the end of Touch of Malice. Like, lots of stuff went down, and so I'm really concerned for everyone involved. But I'm really excited to see how she wraps up this series and then to finish with Hades' POV. I know she's going to write some other character stories as well within the universe, so I'm excited about that as well. Next up, we have Bride by Ali Hazelwood. This comes out on February 6th. Again, Ali Hazelwood, auto by author. This is her first not STEM novel. It's a paranormal romance. I think she's a vampire and he's a werewolf. Maybe. I know there's werewolves and I know there's vampires, and that's all I know, and it's a romance. So I will definitely be reading this when it comes out. I'm very excited about it because I will read anything that Ali Hazelwood writes. Next up is This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. This comes out on March 5th. This is like the second book in a series. The first one was Before I Let Go, which was like this divorced couple kind of reconciling, and so now it's the girl from the first book's friend figuring out her marriage because it's like crashing and burning. But I really loved Before I Let Go, so I think this one will be good as well. So I want to continue the series. I'm really excited about this one coming out. Next up is I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. This comes out on July 16th. So I still haven't read My Heart is a Chainsaw, that series, but I love The Only Good Indians, and a slasher sounds fun. I know he's taking a break from writing the Indian Lake trilogy, which is the one that My Heart is a Chainsaw is a part of, so that he can write this book. So I'm excited. I think it will be good. I'm down for a slasher. Next is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. This comes out on April 2nd. Honestly, she's pretty much an auto-buy author as well. I love the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, and I also really liked Five Survive. So this one, basically, there's an 18-year-old girl whose mom mysteriously disappeared 16 years ago, and so everyone thinks she's dead. And the case is dragged up again for a true crime documentary. Her mother shows back up. So this sounds good. I will read anything she writes at this point. Honestly, Holly Jackson is so good at YA. I don't know. Like the Good Girl's Guide to Murder series, I was obsessed with. Five Survive wasn't as good, but it was still pretty good, so I think this one will be good as well. Next up is The Grandest Game by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, July 30th. I still haven't read Brothers Hawthorne yet, but it's on my shelf. I did pre-order it, and I loved the Inheritance games, so I'm hoping that Grandest Game is good as well. I'll continue to read the things she writes. I think they're fun. So yeah. Next up, we have Daydream by Hannah Grace. This comes out on May 4th. I'm so excited. I loved Icebreaker, I loved Wildfire, and I'm so excited for this book because I feel like we've all just been waiting for this story. So I'm really excited about Daydream. I think it's gonna be cute and I think it's gonna be fun, and I want her to keep writing in this universe so bad. So I'm really excited about it. Fun romance, we love it. Next up is Into the Dark by Jessa Hastings, which is the new Magnolia Parks book. It comes out on February 13th, and it's gonna wrap up the Magnolia Parks series. I'm terrified because Long Way Home ended on a wild note. I know there should be like another Daisy Hates book after this, but good Lord, I was so stressed out, and like I need this book now. I needed this book months ago. So I'm like so excited. Also, I will be ordering from that one place in the UK that is probably still gonna sell the old covers, because I read somewhere that like her actual publishing company will make a run of the old covers. So I'll be buying it from there because I hate the new covers. They're so ugly. But I'm very excited. And then the last one is What Feasts at Night by T. Kingfisher. This comes out on February 13th. I read What Moves the Dead. I really liked it, and this is like the sequel to that. So I hope it's good. I think that it will be small because What Moves the Dead was like not like 100 and something pages. It was very small, but I really enjoyed it. So I definitely want to read the next one as well. I'm sure there are more books that I'm excited about that I just didn't make it onto this list, and obviously more books will be announced as we get farther into 2024, but these are the ones that I am currently excited for and waiting on, and will probably either pre-order or be immediately buying. So I am excited. Let me know if you plan on reading any of these books and what some of your anticipated reads are for 2024. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.